Hello and welcome to Point Park Pens Talk and the first ever 3PT award show. I am Nick Howard here with Nick Berlansky and Jordan Slobodinsky. But before we continue any further, this past weekend the hockey world was struck by an awful tragedy. A bus carrying the Saskatchewan junior hockey team, the Humboldt Broncos, was involved in a horrific accident that took the lives of 15 people, including 10 players aged 16 to 21, 2 coaches, an announcer, a statistician, and the bus driver. 14 others were also injured. There's a GoFundMe set up to support the team, the families that were affected. I donated this morning and noticed that it is up to now $6 million, which is incredible. And the hockey world has been in mourning ever since. And the three of us here at 3PT will be dedicating tonight's award show to the entire Humboldt Broncos family. We are all Humboldt strong. And let's just get into it, boys.
Nice.
Contrary to how we ended the show last week, Jordan is back, sadly.
My bad.
It's all good, man.
But he is back because he has been here for the 8 weeks prior, and this is the biggest episode yet. It is the 3PT Awards, the first annual 3PT Awards, and should we just go right into our very first one?
Absolutely.
But before we do, we actually have a live studio audience back here.
Give it up, everyone
of
here.
5 people.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right.
Very nice.
Jordan, please don't yell into the microphone. That actually hurt my headphones a lot.
Yeah, I can't hear out of the headphones either. But we are going to start with the Evgeny Malkin Award for the biggest snub of the season. For people that don't understand what that means, it's basically somebody who was taken, or something that was taken away from the player.
Who well deserved it. Evgeny Malkin has had a lot recently.
With the NHL 100, plus I believe the NHL All-Star game this year. But the nominees were Daniel Sprong for a roster spot, Ian Cole from being a Pittsburgh Penguin, as he is now a Columbus Blue Jacket, and the Detroit Red Wings from getting a good return for Riley Sheahan.
What a steal.
You guys have voted over the past week, and the winner being Daniel Sprong for a roster spot.
Woo!
So,
Woo!
Yeah, our live studio audience is not feeling this at all.
We're not happy about it. I guess it's really not a good award to cheer for, considering Sprong had a great opportunity in front of him, but
He's kind of blew it.
Now,
he didn't blow it, and more or less.
I don't agree with the fans in this situation.
Ooh. Do tell.
Do tell. I believe Ian Cole for being a Pittsburgh Penguin because I believe he's probably the best defenseman we had defensively. So, and the fact that he got traded to a team that only wanted a draft pick instead of him.
Yeah, and it's weird sending him to a rival as well, but Thank you, Tyler.
We miss you.
This is going to be fun having the people behind us.
This is very distracting.
Yeah.
I think my favorite thing is that I saw about
But do you guys agree with that? Do you really think that Daniel Sprong is the biggest snub?
Me, personally, I do. I mean, of course, I do.
I
wanted this guy on the team last year.
I'm with Horwath in the same boat. I wanted him to play a lot more last year, too, so, I mean.
Okay, wow. I guess I'm alone thinking Ian Cole was the biggest snub.
I mean, it works, too. I just like how I threw the Detroit one in there because we totally got a steal for him, I feel like, anymore. Seeing what he's done.
Well, yeah, they got Scott Wilson, who they also flipped and sent somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the second award being, and I did not name these awards. That was your doing,
I totally named them.
So if some of these don't make sense, you can blow up his Twitter feed calling him stupid because it was not me.
I do it every week.
No, you don't.
What do you do every week?
Blow up his
So
Twitter
anyway,
feed.
the second one, the Martin Straka Award for the most underrated player. Your nominees were Patrick Hornquist, Riley Sheahan, and Brian Dumoulin. And the winner. Jordan is laughing at this.
Jordan, did you even vote on these?
Yeah. I made him. I watched him do it.
Okay.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
And the winner is Patrick Hornquist.
Nice. I agree.
The crowd needs to catch on. When is the appropriate time to cheer?
Brian Rust.
We had a write-in vote for Brian Rust, I hear.
He still lost. There was like 30 votes on each of these.
Yeah. But Patrick Hornquist is 100% the most underrated player. I think he's the most consistent goal scorer on the team. I'll start
Yeah,
with
he
that.
had over 30,
absolutely.
or he almost had 30 goals this year, which would have been his third 30-goal season
Yes.
in his career.
Second or third, yes.
He's always up in the 20-goal mark,
Yeah.
which you don't expect from a guy who
Just-
scores all of his goals with his hind end in front of the goaltender.
That's true.
But he's definitely perfected the Thomas Holmstrom fact of being in front of the goaltender, being annoying to other teams. So I think that is something that a lot of Penguins can't do.
100%. I mean,
Yeah.
Zach Aston Reese is close to it, but he's still young, has to gain his experience.
Did you
And
see what his favorite playoff moment is, by the way?
Yes, I did. I did see that today.
Did you see that, Jordan?
No, I
Probably
didn't.
not.
What's that?
His favorite playoff moment was from the 2009 Stanley Cup playoffs against the Penguins against the Flyers. It was Max Talbot shushing the Philadelphia crowd after he got the crap kicked out of him by Daniel Carcillo.
I mean,
Hey, Jordan,
Yeah.
what's a goon?
Daniel Carcillo?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that's good enough.
But also, again, like I said, honorable mention to Brian Dumoulin as well, because dude had a coming out year, I feel like, in terms of offensive production.
I think this is one of his, like, if not his best, like.
Well, he's only had
seasons
like 4 seasons to pick from, but
I know, but
definitely for sure his best season by far.
yeah.
Because he's still solid defensively, but he's been coming through with great offensive numbers for him.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to
Yeah.
give Brian Doom a little shout out, and Riley coming along and being penalty killer.
Remember, right after we traded for Riley, you looked at me when we went to a game, and I said, I'm going to support Riley even if you don't think he's good. And you said he's like Kevin Porter. You compared him to Kevin Porter.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'd still pick Kevin Porter over Riley Sham, but
Jordan, Dom, kick him harder.
See, this is why we have a live studio audience, so they can either
So they can actually-
one, listen and make fun of Jordan, or two,
They can
physically assault Jordan
They
in
can
the
make
booth.
fun of him in person now instead of me having to show them the recording later.
oh my god,
We will talk about the playoffs later, and one of the people in our live audience has something to say about Jordan, so stay tuned for that.
oh my
But the third award, with a great title, I will tell you, this is the best title. This is the Now Here's a Guy
Now
award
Here's a
for
Guy.
being a good guy, trying hard, and loving the game, a.k.a. the Phil Kessel Award.
Woo!
This entire show is going to be made up of Jordan laughing and me and Horwat trying to make it sound credible.
Yeah,
I'm
pretty
just
much.
trying because I can picture in like, whenever Phil retires, him being like the Chris Collinsworth of hockey.
Phil being the Chris Collinsworth of hockey.
Yes.
Well, the nominees are obviously Phil Kessel.
Yeah.
Second would be Brian Rust. And the last nominee, the first time that he's being nominated for it today, which he has 3 nominations, that would be Jordan's favorite player, Casey DeSmith.
Okay.
And the winner, as if it wasn't already obvious, the winner being,
Phil, the thrill, Kessel.
or as my dad likes to call him, Stand Still Phil.
Stand still,
73% of the fan vote.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, wow. 73%.
Dog Phil.
Hot Dog Phil, yeah.
Or
I agree with this, obviously, because we basically made the award for him to win.
I remember whenever I first thought of it, I was like, it'd be funny if like Phil wasn't nominated. It was just his name on the award.
I
But-
didn't nominate him. You nominated him. I
Yeah,
didn't have him on the
but then I-
nomination sheet.
But then I gave up and said, it'd be funny to have Phil on it. So.
Yeah, you
We
won that
went with it.
argument.
And
Jordan had nothing to do with the nominations.
Casey should have been nominated for everything.
Casey should have been nominated for best defenseman.
Yeah.
And
Defended the net.
MVP.
Of course.
He did have a shutout at the end of the season, which is the reason the Penguins are playing a home game on Wednesday.
So
True.
basically, you can credit the entirety of the Penguins' playoff run to Casey DeSmith.
I'm not doing
I'm
that.
not doing that.
I
But
will
if-
be.
Go through the honorable mentions. And the description is that just trying hard and loving the game. Casey Smith probably does really try hard.
He tries so hard that he doesn't even take his helmet off for post-game interviews with Dan Potash.
What a guy.
Didn't he? Oh my
Now
God, I
here's a
didn't catch
guy
that.
who
No, he was out there in his helmet trying to talk on television, and he probably went back to the locker room and got shamed.
Now here's a guy
Very
who doesn't
shamed.
take his helmet off.
Yeah,
for
now
interviews.
here's a guy.
What a
He doesn't
adorable
take his
man.
helmet off, and
I can't wait to get his jersey.
All right.
please don't
And-
spend that much money on a jersey.
And
Oh.
next, the Ian Cole Memorial Award.
Yeah, this is why I'm saying that I did not create the titles for this. The Ian Cole Memorial Award for Best Defensive Forward.
Named it after
Forward.
a defenseman.
First of all, Ian Cole
Was
was the defenseman.
I just wanted a memorial award. I thought it'd be funny. So here we are. The
okay.
nominees are
Okay.
I mean,
Riley Sheehan.
But most of these
go ahead.
are memorial awards, like some of the names we say later are all people. Well, we already said Martin Straka.
I mean, yeah.
And after the break, when we come back, all of the awards, the last 4 awards, because we have 4 before the break and 4 after, all the awards after the break are former Penguins.
That was the joke. I tried to make them fun, okay? And they're fun. You can't say they're not. Jordan's having a good time.
Are you going to announce the nominees? Jordan has a good time every week because Jordan has no idea what's going on.
Except for Casey.
So anyway, your nominees for the Ian Cole Memorial Award for Best Defensive Forward are Riley Sheahan, Tom Kuhnhackl, and Brian Rust. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner is Riley Sheahan.
We need to re-scout or better
audience.
scout our live studio audiences. But yeah, Riley won.
Riley won.
How's that magazine back there, Tyler?
It's treating me nicely.
Okay, cool.
Tyler's going home with paraphernalia from the
Okay.
PJ office.
I couldn't agree more with this, Riley Sheahan. Actually, I kind of could disagree because Tom Kuhnhackl only plays defense.
That's very true.
I honestly forget he's a forward sometimes.
We talked to a couple of weeks ago before the show. We talked to Bob Pompiani, and what did he say? The Penguins were lacking.
no
They were
shot
lacking
blockers.
shot
Shot blockers,
blockers. And who's one of the few people that he named that we can all probably figure out the only probably forward that likes to block shots, which would be Tom Kuhnhackl.
Mm-hmm.
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 And he is a forward. That is his position, so that's why he's nominated
Yeah.
for this. But I believe that he probably should have won, but the fans said what the fans said, and they voted Riley Sheahan as the Ian Cole Memorial Award for Best Defensive Forward.
Yes. So going into this, does Brian Rust kill penalties? Because I honestly always forget.
Every once in a while, yeah,
Okay.
when he's needed, he does.
That's
He's not in the top 4 usually, but if he's needed, like if, say, Zach Aston Reese gets hurt in the middle of the game, they'll put
Yeah.
Brian Rust on the penalty kill.
Okay,
He won't block a shot,
Rusty Bry.
but
neither will Hagelin and neither will Sheahan.
Yeah.
Tom
But-
Kuhnhackl will help. That's about it.
But Sheahan is a very good penalty killer, though, and it's probably why he got
Oh,
that
yes.
spot in this win, this award that we don't
did.
have for.
We're not obviously
all
not giving these
namesakes.
awards out to anybody. We're
No.
just saying
No,
they won.
We'll be at the game Wednesday handing these out in the pregame.
No, but we possibly will be at the big screen on Wednesday. So if you are there and you are not somebody that already knows who we are, which most of you are, come over and say hi. Find us because we'll probably tell you where we're at. Not many of you will care. Actually, none of you will probably care, but we will be at the game
I'll be the one with the
in the big screen.
Players a certificate.
That'd be funny if we.
We'll tweet at all the players that have a Twitter and say you won this award, and they'll probably not respond.
Phil will respond. Phil's a man of the people.
If you come to the game, I'll be the guy in the Casey DeSmith jersey.
With
We're gonna buy you a Casey DeSmith jersey.
Nice.
we.
I saw Dom shake his head, and you said we, so it's a no. Never mind.
Yeah, sorry, Jordan. Doesn't look like you're going to get a Casey DeSmith jersey. But coming up, we have 4 more awards in the second block. And then still to come, we have a playoff preview as the Penguins will take on the Philadelphia Flyers. A lot of hatred in that rivalry. So stay tuned on 3PT.
Audience, take us out.
Woo!
Hi, I'm Becca Riggin.
And I'm Lauren Klauser.
If you're looking for quality recommendations for all things books, music, and movies,
And you want to hear the latest pop and tunes,
then tune into our radio show.
thanks, pal. Every Saturday night from 7 to 8. You can listen by downloading the TuneIn app.
Or on WPPJ 670 AM or at WPPJradio.com.
Thanks, pal.
Hello? Nothing much. I'm just listening to Colors on WPPJ. It's really good for vibes. Yeah, you should listen. It comes on at 9 on Fridays. You can listen at WPPJ.com or 670 AM. Yeah, no, really turn it on. It's dope. Alright, check you later.
You're listening to WPPJ Radio 670 AM or online at WPPJradio.com, and this is your sports update for the week. The baseball team has moved up in the NAIA Baseball Top 25 poll, claiming the number 14 spot. The Pioneers lead the NAIA in ERA and are third in the country in opponent batting average. They've won 25 of their last 26 games and are one of 2 teams in the country with just 2 losses. The softball team swept Cincinnati Christian in a River States Conference doubleheader in Kentucky on Wednesday. The Pioneers just barely got by in the first game, claiming the victory 7-6, whereas in Game 2 they managed to walk away with a 5-3 win. Each of the 2 games were tied at one point, but the Pioneers managed to break the ties just an inning after in both situations. The women's track and field team has been ranked number 24 in the U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association Top 25 poll. This is the first national poll of the outdoor season, and the Pioneers are led by none other than junior Anna Shields, who is ranked number 1 in the country in the 800, 1500, and 5000. On a national scale, the Pittsburgh Pirates have had their undefeated record snapped after losing to the Minnesota Twins last night at home. On a more positive note, the Pittsburgh Penguins have officially clinched their playoff spot and have 2 games left before the postseason is underway. But it's still a question as to who we will see the Pens go up against in the first round. For Point Park and WPPJ Radio, I'm Taylor Spirito.
And we're back, and we still can't hear each other, but we're back at the 3PT Awards. Thank you, James, for the round of applause.
James is winning MVP for best fan.
Best.
I love you guys. You guys are great.
Wait, Dom clapped louder. Just
We are back,
now.
and we do. Wow, I can hear myself now. There you go, Jordan.
A little bit.
Little bit.
Sort
But
of.
the next award is for best rookie. Now, the Pens have had a history of bringing up a lot of good players from Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Last year, they had Jake Gensel come up, who was probably one of the, if not the biggest reason that they were successful in the playoffs last year.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the Paul Bissonnette Award for Rookie of the Year.
Biz Nasty 2.0.
Our nominees are Dominic Simone, Zach Aston Reese, and once again, Casey DeSmith.
Jordan is so happy.
My boy.
Jordan, you don't know.
Jordan, do you know who won this award?
No.
Good.
And the winner. He plays for the Pittsburgh Penguins, obviously.
He is number 1 in the yearbook and number 1 in Jordan's heart. It is Casey DeSmith.
My
And
boy!
there goes everyone's.
Penguins hockey.
Casey.
week here for the rookies.
Dude, Casey is
Not
the
everybody shares your love of Casey DeSmith there, Jordan.
Casey's the future.
Of?
The organization.
Yeah, just like Jeff Zadkoff was the future of the organization.
Hey,
he has no chance of being the number 1 goaltender, but he was the best rookie according to our fans, and I do agree mainly because Dominic Simone and Zach Aston Reese both played really well, but they also had their most successful stints when they were with Crosby. So it's hard to judge how good they were actually playing versus them playing with the greatest goaltender. I'm thinking of Casey DeSmith.
Yes. That man.
They're playing with the greatest player of all time, plus both of them had injury stints.
Yeah, plus they didn't play a ton. I'm literally actually trying to pull up right now who's played more games. Or at least
Between
the 3 of them.
Simone
Simone
has played the most
Yeah,
because he got called up earlier, and then
Sunset back
DeSmith and Jari both switched on and off.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, plus DeSmith is a goalie, but it's more or less like how much time he's had.
He had to play a lot though, considering all the back-to-backs we had.
14 games played.
What's his record in those 14 games played? Just since you have it up.
6-4. 6-4.
6-4 does not equal 14.
Games played is not equal to games started, Jordan.
He has started 11. He has started 11 games, and he was pulled in 1. So
And the Penguins came back just enough for him to not get the loss.
yes. So
wasn't he also pulled in the? No, he was pulled in the Boston game. That's where he was pulled.
sorry, I lied. He was 6-4-1.
Yeah, well,
With that overtime loss.
Gosh,
sorry
darn it.
about that.
Hopefully he gets a playoff game.
Hopefully not. I really don't want to see Casey DeSmith in the playoffs. I'm sorry.
Let's be. I told you. I'm not asking for much, but it's not unrealistic for a backup to get 1 start in the playoffs.
It's happened.
It's not going.
I'll give you that. I'll also give you that Casey DeSmith's helmet is probably one of my favorites in the NHL.
Oh, like the Wilkes-Barre on one side and the Penguin on the other.
No.
Oh.
He has the world's best boss cup of coffee on his chin. He plays in Wilkes-Barre and Scranton. Yeah. So he's owed to the office. That is probably the best part about Casey DeSmith and not his play. And that he didn't take his helmet off for the postgame.
How do you not take your helmet off?
He said it. He was just in the heat of the moment.
That's because he's never been interviewed once in his life.
I'm pretty sure he has.
Doubt that.
But not by Dan Potash.
I don't think the sight of
not by Penguin legend Dan Potash.
I don't think the sight.
Listen, I I'd put a helmet on to be interviewed by Dan Potash.
Dan Potash doesn't like scream "keep my helmet on" at me.
No, but just getting your first career shutout might.
That screams.
Man, if only people could hear the whispers behind us. Anyway,
as he stares at the magazines.
Tyler's just back here reading magazines.
So I'm going to go back during post this week, and I'm going to listen to how many times Jordan laughs versus how many times he actually says something intelligent.
I don't think I've ever said one thing intelligent in the 21 years I've been on this planet.
Definitely not in the 10 episodes we've had of 3PT. By the way, if you have missed any of those episodes, go to 412 Talk on YouTube and listen to the first 9 episodes of 3PT to catch up, because we have 2 more episodes in this studio remaining, and then we're going to figure out how to give you some content after the school year ends, because, well, that'll be without Jordan. So no 3PT HQ, just me and Horwat talking some Penguins hockey.
Could Skype call me in?
No,
That's a lot of work.
Jordan, that's okay.
The next award, which really we had to make 3 nominees because
Again, we could have made 4, but
we could have made 4, but we wanted only 4 to be for the MVP award. This is for the best goaltender.
The Johan Hedberg Award for best goalie. Hey, Johan is the reason why I love hockey. Okay.
So he's your Casey DeSmith. Got it.
Except Johan actually started.
Don't worry. One day he will.
Anyway,
That's a lot of dead air. I'm not sure what am I supposed
I was yelling.
to do?
I was yelling at Kayla.
Okay, you were reading it, so I figured you were going to read the nominees.
Sorry. So
If anybody didn't know, the nominees for best goaltender.
Oh yeah, so your nominees are Matt Murray, Tristan Jarry, and Casey DeSmith.
I wanted Antiniemi.
Why?
I wanted Antiniemi over Casey DeSmith.
Why?
So-
Because I think he's better.
So
Great. That's why he's been to 3 different teams this season. He's not in the playoffs.
Hey,
and he
who has a cup?
terrible
Hey,
record.
who has a cup?
Casey's gonna get one. The crazy part. En route to this playoff, into this Stanley Cup victory that we're about to have,
Oh, I stirred him up.
Casey DeSmith is gonna have 1 win.
Is he?
Yes.
Is he?
Yes.
Are you sure about that?
I'm telling you.
You want to bet me $5 right now?
I will bet you $5. Casey's gonna have a win.
I just got $5, everybody.
Jordan's owing me $20 still.
Big screen 2 days.
Well,
And the winner is
the winner of the Johan Hedberg Award for best goaltender.
Believe it or not, with 100% of the vote, was Matt Murray.
Wait,
Okay, guys, you can stop. That may or may not have just rung every mic in this room.
well,
So how did he not get 100% of the vote?
Tristan
because
Jarry.
Tristan Jarry got a vote.
He's like Jordan voted for
Casey DeSmith had 0% of the vote.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You didn't even vote for your boy.
I voted for Murray.
You didn't vote for your boy. Wow.
He played 14 games.
I don't think anybody in here is going to argue that Matt Murray is the
No, no one's
goalie of the
gonna
year for the
argue it.
Penguins. Anybody who does really has no stance on that.
I'll give honorable mention to Yari for stepping up midway through when he went down with an injury.
Well, both Yari and DeSmith did.
Yeah.
You could say that. But
they both
best
stepped up.
goaltender is the number 1 goaltender, is
Yep.
the goaltender who won 2 Stanley Cups in his rookie season. That'd be Matt Murray.
Define the laws of physics.
He was a
Logic.
rookie for both of his Stanley
Oh,
Cups.
that's right. That is right. Okay.
Wow. See, the show would probably go a lot better if we didn't have to remind Jordan of what has happened in the past year.
Dude, I can't remember what happened in the last hour. Okay.
Well, that and then last week when we were saying our best favorite moments from the Stanley Cup runs, and he said Game 5 of Columbus. Why? Well,
I was there.
I was there. Wow, that's okay. We're running out of awards here, but the next one is a great award for the best defenseman, which this might take a while for me to argue against.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
The Darius Kasparaitis Award for Best Defenseman.
The nominees were Chris Letang, Brian Dumoulin, and Oli Mata, and the winner being number 58 in the scorebook, being number 1 in every mother's heart, it's Chris Letang. Yeah, mothers love Letang. I do not.
I don't love him either. So
Yeah, you know what I got in my Easter basket this weekend, since Easter was this weekend for me?
What's that?
I got a Chris Letang candy bar.
Hey, they still make
That's
those?
just, they apparently, I was like, that's okay. That's not cool. Everybody knows I don't like Letang's performance this year, so I get a Chris Letang candy bar. That's cool.
That's interesting.
It's a good time.
I was not happy with that. And I don't, it's like rice and something else, and I was
Yeah.
like, why would I even eat this?
Well, those are good.
I've seen those a while ago.
Like
It's rice and pretzel.
rice crisp or whatever.
I don't know if it's that.
Oh, okay. I know
But,
it's like
um,
a
It
Nestle
just said
Crunch
rice
kind of
on it,
thing.
and I was not happy with that.
So Chris Letang, who even the experts have been saying like he's not having his year. You know.
No, he's not. He's turning the puck over in every shift, and he's like a -10 still.
That's
I would have given
impressive.
it. I would have gone with Dumo.
He's a -9. Yeah.
I would have gone with Mata. Why would you go with Dumo?
I'll say it for you, Jordan. I said it earlier. He's having his coming out year offensively, and he's still able to stand up defensively.
Okay, I understand that.
Yeah.
I say Mata because you know how hard every fan has been on Oli Mata in the past 4 seasons that he's played with us.
Yeah.
He has quietly had one of the best seasons as a defenseman for the Penguins. There's been a lot less moments that you've been like, Oli.
Unload the hitch, Oli.
Well, no, he's still slow. He's still
needs to
very
unload
slow,
that
but
hit.
he's a lot better on his angles, which is why he gets back fast. He seems to get back faster. He's not any faster. But I think that there's been a lot less times where I've been mad at Mata than I have at definitely Letang. And I did say earlier that Dumoulin, if he wasn't playing with Dumoulin, Letang would have a much worse season. But I don't think Letang deserves it. I would agree with either Dumoulin or Mata, but I'm leaning towards
Another
Mata.
thing about Mata, too, is he had all the potential in the world when we drafted him. Then he got hurt. Then he got cancer. And those two things happening back to back will derail any kind of
That's
potential.
mental, too, you know?
Yeah. And he came back pretty good from cancer, but still, it's just that'll derail a lot of your
it's in the back of
growing
his
time
head.
in the NHL.
Yeah, so
So like, I'll give credit where credit is due. Mata's
But the
having a
fans did vote
season.
Letang, so we will honor that vote. And
That's
Chris Letang, you are the Darius Kasparaitis best defenseman.
Woo!
That's an insult because all 3 of those defensemen are better than Darius Kasparaitis.
Where's Dave to tell you Darius Kasparaitis was an Islander originally?
Dave is not here because he's an Islander fan. That is exactly why Dave's not here.
Jordan is sitting in between us and he's a Flyer fan.
That's right.
no.
Oh, he wasn't a Flyer. Oh, he was a Flyer fan until he went to a Pens game. Then he said, "You know what? The Pens do win hockey games, and the Flyers don't. So you know what? I will be
that
a
one
Flyers
playoff
fan."
game, and that
I
one
was like
playoff game I
10.
went to. No, that was my favorite playoff moment. That one playoff game I went to, right, Jordan?
I went to the game and saw Marc-Andre Fleury. What do you want me to say?
I want you to speak into the mic. Is what I want you to do. Broken.
And I live here. It's convenient to be a fan.
Oh,
Ooh. Wow.
I was-
Some
okay.
shade from the peanut gallery. I like
I
it.
was 10.
Well,
Oh, my God. What's
this
the
is
next
the most
award?
prestigious award. This is the last award. And the most prestigious award of the
the name
3PT
makes
awards.
sense.
Well, the name, because it is the most valuable player award. Of course, it's going to be the Mario Lemieux Award for the most valuable player. We got 4 nominees for this. Ooh. We wanted to do 5. Thank you, Tom. We wanted to do 5, but you can't do 5 on a Twitter poll, so we decided to cut it down to 4. Our 4 nominees were Evgeny Malkin, Sidney Crosby, Phil Kessel, and Patrick Hornqvist. 3 of you were really slacking. Okay, there we go.
And the fan vote winner.
Do you have the percentages over there?
Yes,
don't.
I do. The fan vote winner in a landslide was Sidney Crosby.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm not sure why you're booing the captain of the team, even if he did win and you didn't agree with it. But then again, that's
Dom has thrown his phone about 5 times tonight.
But
He's like, how is Brian Rust none of the MVP?
But Dom's
Karate
kicked Jordan very hard.
I disagree. Does anybody agree?
Jordan does. I saw him vote for Crosby actually. Whenever he did this.
Explain.
He's the best player on the team. He's the captain. He's a motivator. And I think he's played some of his best hockey like in this past season.
Wow, could somebody pull up any Sports Illustrated article on Sidney Crosby and read that as the lead? Wow, you did your research, I see.
Okay, I'm not denying
Wall Street Journal lead on Sidney Crosby.
A young boy in Montreal.
I just killed the room.
Well, me and Horwat both disagree. Horwat, who obviously I think we're both on the same wavelength when it comes to the MVP, and it would be
Malkin.
It would be Malkin.
Should be considered for league MVP, let alone team MVP. But
yeah, he had his first. He didn't finish with 100 points, but he was very close. This is definitely his best season since the 2011-2012 campaign, which we also ended up playing the Flyers in the first round. So,
Except back then, Jordan was rooting for the Flyers.
Back then, Jordan was rooting for the Flyers. That is correct.
I was not.
Hey, you make sure you're back so you're not blowing the eardrums out of everybody listening. All 3 people.
Broken.
Stop. So, as for Malkin, yes, he totally deserves to be talked about for the league MVP, let alone the Penguins MVP. Crosby, I will say, did have a great season, especially as of recently.
When I last checked, Phil Kessel had 0 votes. Is that how he finished?
No, he had 6% of the votes.
I think that's 1.
Yeah. Patrick Hornquist also had 6%, so.
Yes. Okay, I wanted to make sure Phil at least got a vote because otherwise
Yes.
I felt bad.
Phil's had also a great season.
Phil started off hotter than anybody else, and then Malkin, once the turn of the calendar came and for their 2018, Malkin just turned it on in a way that not many people in the league can. He was the player of the month in January. He was the second star of the month for February. So it's really hard to compete with that once you finish the season. And again, with sports, it's what have you done for me lately? And who's done it most for us lately? It's been Evgeny Malkin. He's been on a tear.
So I'm just going to talk about the rest of the nominees. Phil Kessel had 92 points this season. That's the most he's ever had in his career for a season. Second
And for being a sniper, build a sniper.
He had 58 assists this year.
Yeah, he's very good with the puck and with vision, and he knows the game.
Very underrated passer, as we've.
He tries hard, loves
He
the game.
Tries hard, loves the game.
He's
man.
a good guy. Here's a guy.
And as for Patrick Hornquist, like I said before, he
can't not laugh.
Yeah, I know.
Continue.
As for Patrick Hornquist, like I said before, the guy is just the most consistent goal scorer on the team. Since he does the job no one wants to do, and that's sit in front of the net.
Told you, Thomas Holmstrom.
Yeah.
For the 08
he gets
Red Wings and the 09 Red Wings.
Gets under the skin of the opponent and does his job.
You saw that especially. If you want a picture-perfect game for where he does that, look at the game he had against Columbus last weekend. It was ridiculous. From the second the puck dropped, he was a pain in the butt for everybody on that roster.
Yeah.
So that's what he does best. And I think that's underrated. That's why he was voted most underrated player.
Yeah.
But the MVP award was Crosby. I understand it to the point where it's the same as the playoff MVP last year.
Mm-hmm.
You see a list of names.
It's the namesake of the team.
Yeah, you see a list of names, and it's for MVP. How do you not click on Sidney Crosby's name?
Yeah.
Especially once you see all the batted in goals that he's had this year, which is just unfair.
He has been dirty as of recently, too, so I can understand where people are going with it.
No, he turned it up at the end of the season.
The guy's going to be hot in the playoffs, too, which will be nice. That was another thing, too. It's like, when it comes to MVP awards like this, I want to break it off for a minute. Do you think McDavid should be in consideration for it?
No. Your team is 5th to worst in the NHL.
But here's the thing. He's Connor McDavid, and you know he's going to get nominated.
I know he's going to get nominated.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be.
He shouldn't be.
I think Claude Giroux should be nominated over Connor McDavid, and I think Claude Giroux is a heaping pile of garbage.
Wait. Are you talking nomination or just win?
Not win.
Just nominate. Okay, yeah.
The nominations.
I'm sorry, McDavid can be nominated.
Why?
He had a great season, man. He broke 100 points.
That's cool. He won the Art Ross.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what you get for your 100 points. Are you the most valuable player to your team? Probably. How'd that work out for your team?
Jordan. Here's the thing.
Nothing.
Jordan, here's the thing I'm going to tell you right now. Taylor Hall is entering his first playoff series ever. And he willed those Devils into the playoffs. Nathan McKinnon. Do you know where the Avalanche were last year?
Oh, they were. Yeah.
Where?
They were terrible, weren't they?
Where?
Were they dead last?
Dead last.
Okay. I knew they were.
Thank you, Dom, for answering that.
I knew they were. Pretty far down in the Western Conference.
Applications are out for Jordan's spot. Dom is currently the front runner.
Very nice.
So, and McKinnon willed his team into the playoffs this year. So, if anyone deserves it more than McDavid, it's those two at the bare minimum.
I would even put Kucherov and Malkin over them, and Giroux. I would say he's probably 6th in my list.
Not that there's anything wrong with having a great season for your team, and
no, it's great. But when your team is 5th to last in the NHL,
and you're just scoring points, that's great. But
you shouldn't get that award over people that are in the playoffs that willed their team into the playoffs.
What's the one thing about it's most valuable to your team? Okay, you know what's valuable to your team? Winning, getting points to win.
Getting
that's what
seats in the stands.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about points to win, he was doing his job and he was trying to motivate, but he can't judge him with the talent that's around him. It's not just him that lost all those games.
Name me another player on the New Jersey Devils besides Taylor Hall.
Okay. Who was the first overall pick for the New Jersey Devils last year? And he scored 20 goals this year.
Man, you guys are really on Taylor Hall.
All right, fine. Then name me another player on the Colorado Avalanche that's not Nathan McKinnon.
I was gonna say Matt Duchene, but
Not Matt
You're
Duchene.
going to say Matt Duchene, really. You're going to say the guy that got traded
Yeah,
to
yeah, I was
Ottawa
gonna
about
say.
4 months ago.
I was gonna say Matt Duchene. It's hard to. I can't remember him in an Ottawa jersey.
Well, that is going to wrap it up for our 3PT Awards. When we come back, we're going to talk some playoff hockey. Pens Flyers starting Wednesday. We'll be back here on WPPJRadio.com and on the TuneIn app. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm BTO. Tune in as I take you between the hits, the songs from your favorite albums that you've never heard. Listen live every Tuesday from 4 to 5 p.m. on WPPJ 670 AM.
There's something in the woods. It's Sam Morrison with Squatchin'. Listen to Bigfoot news, sightings, and legends with a hefty helping of classic heavy metal, 10 a.m. on Wednesdays. Join in at WPPJRadio.com or on the TuneIn app. Also, check out the blog on WPPJRadio.com for Squatchin' extras, like sighting photos, Bigfoot merch, and some bonus Bigfoot content. WPPJ Radio, 670 AM.
Hey, this is your boy Queslow with my new show, Lyrics and Flow, every Wednesday from 12 to 1. If you want to listen, go to WPPJ 670 AM, or if you want your computer, laptop, or phone, go to WPPJRadio.com. Hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. My Instagram is QUEZLOW. My Twitter, add the extra L to it. And my YouTube, add the extra L to it. Hit me up.
Croups Corner brings you the best sports talk on the air. Based on the award-winning weekly column in the Globe, Croups Corner covers all the bases of Point Park athletics. Join Josh Croup and Allison Schubert each week for recaps and commentary on the biggest Point Park sports headlines.
Talked to Coach last night, and he's really
just a huge win. It couldn't have come at a better
played
time.
really well. They had a lot of good ball movement.
Plus debates on the hottest topics surrounding the sports world beyond Point Park.
Well, that's a fair point.
He's not overrated.
Yes, he is.
Croups Corner, Wednesdays from 1 to 2, only on WPPJ.
Hey guys, time for this week's music update. The National Library of Congress released its latest batch of inductees into the National Recording Registry. 25 singles, recordings, albums, and soundtracks from many genres and eras made the list, including notable pieces such as My Girl from The Temptations, Rumors by Fleetwood Mac, Footloose by Kenny Loggins, and Raising Hell by Run DMC. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf spoke out on Twitter about the Meek Mill case, saying, quote, I support DA Larry Krasner's position in the case of Meek Mill. Our criminal justice system is in need of repair. He goes on to promise his administration will make efforts to invest in programs that promote fairness and improve public safety. Albums released this week from Jack White, Jeff Rosenstock, and Guided by Voices. Concerts in town this week include Of Montreal and Punchline. I'm Chris Schwanke, and that was this week's WPPJ Music Update.
The thing. Welcome back. We were just trying to get a group selfie in with this whole squad here. All right, we're cool. All
right, playoffs.
It's playoff season, baby.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Best time of year.
And it's still snowing, so that song works.
Ironic.
Isn't it ironic? Okay.
Some things that are coming back for the playoffs, the big screen and gold outs.
Yay.
Two of the best things of Penguins hockey.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a good time, man.
It's going to be a real good time.
It's gonna
Like
be
we
a
said,
cold
we're going to
time.
try to get there for the big screen, but we'll see.
I'll be there for sure.
I want to
will
be there,
definitely
but
be
that's
there as
only if
well.
somebody saves me a seat.
Yeah.
Because I work until 7
I'm not
on
looking
Wednesday.
forward to if it's gonna snow or rain.
I'm still looking
again.
forward to it.
If it rains or snows.
Rain or shine, I'm a Pens fan.
Dude, I'll be there in the snow 100%. Oh, wait,
All
we
right.
were there in the snow before.
That's right. That was bad. That was cold.
Okay.
But first round, we found out late Saturday evening that it will be Pittsburgh versus Philly. Ye old rivalry. Stop
James-
clapping, Philadelphia, James.
James back here from Philly.
Hey, Jordan, remember?
Or as the NHL is billing it, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, just because the
That's
teams were
horrible.
announced around Mania weekend.
We're never saying that again.
No, we're not.
Yeah, well, the NHL really on with their dad jokes. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I
dad
see
jokes
what
are
they were
cool,
trying.
But still, you know.
Yeah.
Now, we've had discussions, a lot of people have had discussions about the fact that a lot of people think that the Capitals have surpassed the Flyers as the Penguins' biggest rival, but that's mainly because we haven't played the Flyers in the playoffs.
That's
and
true.
they haven't been all that good in the past couple of years.
They weren't even that good most of this season up till the second half.
Well, ever since the Eagles won the Super Bowl, they went on like a 13-game win streak. And then they started losing again, went on a 10-game losing streak, but still.
That's their second 10-game losing streak of the year, too, so it's...
They're definitely on half the time, off half the time, but the Penguins were also the same way. The Penguins were susceptible to a couple 10-1 losses, a couple 7-2 losses as well. 8-2, that's what it was. So
there was a 7-2 in their
So both teams have been a little inconsistent over the year, not as, as for as long as stretches as you were if you were the Flyers fan, but it's Penguins Flyers. It's the first time since 2012, I believe, that we're playing in the first round.
Plus, I mean, the Penguins have just dominated the Flyers this season.
We have 4-0, but what is really weird is the Penguins, obviously, if you look at it, the Penguins have the worst road record for any team in the playoffs.
Really?
They also have the best home record for any team in the playoffs. But what's weird about that, against the Flyers this year, we played 2 games at home, 2 games on the road. At home, we won 5-4 in overtime both games. On the road, we won 5-1 and 5-2. So we played better on the road against Philly.
Okay. I mean, we put a 20 spot against them this year, so regardless, I think I'll be pretty confident in this whole series.
It's going to be a series with a lot of goals.
Yep.
The series boasts 4 of the top 10 goal scorers come from this series. 3 of them being from the Penguins, but if you look at Voracek is also in the top 15, so you have to give him credit there, but 4 of the top 10 goal scorers are going to be playing in this series starting Wednesday night in Pittsburgh. If you look at that, that's obviously Giroux came in second in the scoring race, which is very high, over 100 points. I'll give him credit for that where credit's due. He's played really well, especially on the power play. He's a very dangerous player.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened last time we played them in the first round, they did beat us 4-2. They were up 3-0 in that series, and I know a lot of Penguins fans were freaking out. That series was really not played well defensively by either team, and the Penguins showed that they are susceptible to taking stupid penalties more than the Flyers, and the Flyers kind of got in their heads. That was also the time that we saw that there was a line brawl 2 days before.
Yeah,
and
I mean, like, it's a totally different team. I think it was Yoey that tweeted, like, this is a totally different team. We don't have Orpik or
we don't have Joe Vitale on the fourth line, Brandon Sutter, Derek Anglin,
and
Aaron Asham.
Yeah, like, it's a totally different team. It's a different mindset. Like, we have Sullivan, not Bilesma.
Yeah, no coach. I don't remember the exact numbers. I think there are no coaches from that series that are still coaching either of these teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it might. But here's the thing: it might end up being a similar series in which there's not much defense played because neither of these teams are very good on defense. I think I'll even give Philadelphia the defensive edge. I would give us the forward and goaltending.
Yeah, I could see it. Shane Gostisbehere is a killer. He's a offensive defenseman, but dude can rip it whenever he wants to.
Okay. I think it's also interesting to note that while Matt Murray's been back for 2 weeks, Brian Elliott is returning from an injury. So they haven't.
He's not their starter though.
Yeah, I know, but he was their starter. So I mean, they could be.
That's Peter, I don't Peter Mrazek's their guy.
I don't think they're going to start Elliott, but I mean.
My question is, what game will Radko Gudas get suspended in?
Third game.
Third game? Okay.
Because that's going to be the first game in Philly, and he's going to get a little excited, and he's probably going to slash Crosby across the teeth.
Ooh. Radko
It's nothing
Gudas.
that Matt Niskanen hasn't already done.
This is true. It's just a hockey play.
I hate Mike Milbury.
Doesn't everyone?
Pretty much.
I'm not so sure Mike Milbury likes Mike Milbury.
Mike Milbury loves Mike Milbury.
So does Keith Jones. Who luckily will get to listen to the AT&T Sportsnet call for this series, because otherwise we would have to listen to Keith Jones talk about the Flyers.
That would be brutal.
The entire time. So anybody who's out of market, I am sorry.
Yeah.
That you will have to listen to Keith Jones.
And Mike Milbury.
And Mike
talk about how these fights are good for hockey. Or not good for hockey, but these fights are... They're going to move the game along.
Oh, that's a great impression over there, Horror. How long have you been practicing that?
20 seconds. 20 whole seconds. I don't know. How many games did Milbury get suspended for hitting a man with his own shoe? I don't know. The only thing is, anytime Mike Milbury says anything, it's just lost on me because of that situation.
What game was it? Oh, it was Brian Rust getting cross-checked into the boards.
Oh, yeah.
Concussed. That Mike Milbury said, no, that was clean. It was Rust's fault, if anything.
It was against the Flyers.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
If anything, that was Brian Rust's fault because, I mean, come on. When you're trying to play the puck, you should definitely forget about the puck, forget about the game of hockey, and just skate away.
Yep.
That's what you're taught. All the time.
You were taught that in high school, right?
Oh, yeah, I was taught that the puck is not a priority, neither is the other team. Getting back to the bench without a concussion? Well,
For Berlansky, now.
Berlansky.
I was not too good at that. If that was my only job, I was not too good at that. But
I think the most that like you're taught in Pee Wee's is just don't pass it in front of your own net.
Okay.
yeah, that's
No, that
Crystal Tang has
Crystal Tang's done that quite a lot this year.
Maybe Crystal Tang has.
But going into the series, it looks like, well, from the practice this morning, Derek Brassard participated in it fully, which is a huge step.
Yeah.
He missed the last 5 games of the regular season. He's going to be the third line center when he comes back, no matter how good Riley Shane is playing.
Yeah.
He practiced on that third line with Kessel, so they'd be dumping Kessel down from the Malkin line back on with Brassard. And I think Sherry was on the left wing of that.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
a good line.
Fire.
The only problem I have with that, I would actually bump Sherry down to the fourth line, not because of his lack of production, because obviously he's been producing a lot
As of
in
recent,
the last
since we
5
started
games.
trashing him.
But at the same time, he's really good with Riley Shane.
Yeah.
Him and Riley Shane have been playing very well together, and I think they deserve to be on the same line in the playoffs. And really, it's the same thing as it was the last 2 years. Penguins' lines are 1 through 4, simply because Crosby is the first line.
Malkin
is the second line. And the third and fourth lines are still, could be 2 lines,
It's like the
a 2 line on any other team.
It's like the 2016 run. The third line was the HBK line.
Oh, I missed that sandwich. I'm going to Permanis after this now.
Have fun.
I was going to Permanis after this anyway, but still.
So
If you want to meet him there.
Penguins,
If you want to meet me there, which you won't,
he'll sign autographs. He'll do the whole spiel.
you don't want my autograph. It's worth nothing.
So like
And it will be worth nothing.
Nikki B.
the Penguins have always thrived on depth and depth scoring and getting production out of everyone, which is something we're still doing with even this season. Yes, Crosby's got a lot of points now. Yes, Malkin's been killing it, but I mean, we got the guys that will produce everywhere.
Yeah,
Kessel's on the third line. That's production on the third line.
That's one of the top 10 scorers in the NHL, sitting on the third line.
Third line.
That's the only thing. It's the question that's asked every year. How do you match up with these guys? Do you put your shutdown line on the first line? Okay, well then you have the Malkin line and the Kessel line that can go out there and score a goal in an instant. It's just a matchup thing that a lot of teams are going to have to figure out, and that's part of the reason they've won back-to-back cups. Is a lot of teams can't figure out who they want to shut down because there's always another line that can go out there and produce.
Why do you think Brian Rust has become Mr. Game 7 for us?
Because Brian Rust is clutch.
This man knows what he's talking about.
Thank you, Dom. I've said it before, and a lot of people, I've read a lot of previews this today, and all of them are saying Brian Rust is the key factor in the Pittsburgh Penguins series against the Flyers. Why? Because he's chippy. He can kill penalties, as we already said. He can go on the power play. He's going to score the big goals, and he's also very good supporting the puck. He does everything well, and he does not, and he's not in the box.
I'm going to be watching
Too
him.
often.
I'm going to be watching him and Alexiak the whole series.
Alexiak's actually been really great with us too.
Yeah.
What game was it that it was basically a 2-on-0, and Alexiak and his large frame decided to go down on his stomach and reach his stick out and probably covered 13 feet of ice
I think it was.
and broke up the 2-on-0.
Well, was it a Montreal game? I thought it was Montreal.
It was the Montreal game because it was Jonathan Drouin coming down.
Yeah, I remember that.
I saw that, and I wish I was taller than I am.
All right,
By any stretch of the
I definitely think Russ is going to play a huge factor.
Yeah. So before we go any further, do we want to go through all of the playoff, the playoff series, and
all the series? We want to do around
pick
the
a
league
winner,
winner and pick a winner.
Just round one.
Round one.
Okay.
All right. Okay, I have it up here.
I have it up too. So we'll start in the Western Conference. We won't go too much into detail into why. We'll just give
because we are also having. Forgot to plug this.
Go ahead and plug it.
If you go to NHL.com, the bracket challenge, and you join the league 3PT, you'll be taking on me, Horwat, and Jordan. Yeah, and we know that every week Jordan does the 3PT HQ, and he's not too good, so at least you'll be able to beat one of us who are so-called experts, air quotes.
This is me. I am the
Go
expert.
on to NHL.com or the NHL app and download or go into bracket challenge. 3PT is the league name. It is a public league, so you don't need a password to get into it, and take us on in the playoffs, and we'll see if you're smarter than us analysts who just got a radio show, because everybody gets one.
So, we'll start in the West. Nashville versus Colorado.
Nashville.
It's going to be, I think that series will go 7 games.
I think it will go 6
I
or
think
7.
Nashville.
I said 5.
I'm going to go Nashville as well, mostly because I would have given an upper hand to Colorado if Varlamov was not hurt. They have been fire recently.
Yeah.
but with their starting goaltender going down, plus, like I said before, I still don't see the depth in Nashville. I don't.
I do.
You do. I don't know. Maybe I just don't see them enough. But
I don't like to say that Nashville's going to win a series, but
so we all have Nashville going on anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that was easy. The next series is going to be just as easy. Winnipeg and Minnesota.
Winnipeg.
I want to say Minnesota, but Winnipeg.
Why do you want to say Minnesota?
I just like the Wild.
Well, I like Winnipeg, so Winnipeg.
I think Winnipeg's bigger.
Patrick Laine
Winnipeg's
is
better in the playoffs than Patrick Laine, like you were about to say, is Patrick Laine.
Yeah.
He's everything about him is good except for his beard.
Yeah. So
the next series, which I think is going to be the best series.
This is going to be 7 games.
Yeah.
Seven games. The first playoff series ever for Marc-Andre Fleury and his band of brothers. Vegas Golden Knights versus the LA Kings.
That's going to be... I honestly, stewed over that one for a good 5 minutes.
I said 7 games Golden Knights.
So did I.
7 games.
7 games
I'm
for the
saying
Golden
Vegas,
Knights.
yeah. I think they can do it.
It hurt me to say them over LA, but...
It didn't hurt me at all.
I think they can do it.
LA is a good team, and here's the thing though, is you put LA in that underdog role, which they are because they're a wild card team.
They can.
It's gonna be a rough series.
They won it as the 8, they won the cup as the 8 seed.
Yeah,
exactly.
history of doing it. So I mean,
all right.
Speaking, probably the least anticipated first round matchup.
Oh my God.
Mainly because nobody likes to watch these two teams, but they're both very good teams. The Ducks, for the first time, haven't won the Pacific Division in 5 years.
True.
It took a team being made to have the Ducks not win the Pacific Division.
To make the Pacific interesting.
Well,
so
still
Anaheim
and San Jose. I have San Jose in 6.
I got Anaheim in 5. I just don't think San Jose is that great of a team.
Nobody ever does, but they are.
I'm gonna go San Jose in 5.
So
that's
now,
the Western Conference.
Here for the Eastern Conference.
Eastern Conference, which I would like to watch every single hockey game that comes out of the Eastern Conference this year.
It's a really good
Tampa Bay, New Jersey.
Tampa in 7.
Tampa in 5.
Jersey in 7.
Oh.
Playoff Taylor Hall is something we've never seen before, and I'm confident in it.
That's true.
Plus, Vasilevsky is getting really tired. Really tired,
have a backup
really fast. Exactly. So, I'm going Jersey in 7.
All right.
So we have 2 Tampas and a Jersey. Okay.
Well, honestly, as much as I like to think Pens Flyers is the greatest rivalry in hockey, I am probably wrong. Boston, Toronto.
This is going to be a fun series.
Boston was the hottest team going into the playoffs. Toronto wanted Boston over everybody else. Why? Because they hate the Bruins.
Oh, yeah.
2 very old teams, original 6 teams that hate each other. Same division for over 100 years now. Those guys hate each other, and this is going to be a physical, even though Toronto has a lot of young players that don't like to get too physical, it's going to be a very physical series.
They're going to have to get physical.
Nazem Kadri is going to have a field day.
Oh, yeah. But I have...
Boston in 5.
Okay.
He hypes them up like it's fight night. Boston in 5.
Well, I got Toronto in 6.
I'm going to go Toronto in 6, too.
I like Toronto. I want to see him win, but Boston's been too good lately.
I think they're real hungry, and I think they got it.
I think Toronto
the Pasta Boys is just going to be
Toronto wants their revenge, man.
Yeah, it's kind of where I'm in the same boat.
So now let's get to the 2 easy ones, just because we're all out
Easy.
of time. Who you got, Washington or Columbus?
Well, I have Washington, but I have it in 6.
I have it in 5.
I'd go 5. I think Columbus.
I think you guys are underestimating Columbus just because they can't beat us.
I'm not starting Columbus because they're Columbus.
I am kind of in the same boat with him. I mean,
I
hey,
don't know.
if they somehow
the only person that Ilya Bryzgalov, that's not Ilya Bryzgalov, Sergei Bobrovsky.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking because the Flyers, Bryzgalov,
same guy.
Bears, they're scary. Capitals versus Blue Jackets. Do you remember anything from 2012? Oh, you were a Pens fan. That's right.
I watched the hockey.
Oh, all right. And for the last one,
Bobrovsky can get hot against any team against the Penguins.
He could, yeah.
Initially, what I was saying, the Penguins game or the Penguins series, I say Pens in 6.
Yeah,
if not 5.
I got Penguins in 5.
Yeah, kind of leaning towards 5. There's a possibility it's a sweep.
There is, but it probably
there's a
won't happen.
possibility that any of these series are a sweep because you look at what happened last year, and everybody thought Nashville. Maybe Nashville gets a game in. They swept Chicago and embarrassed them.
Oh yes.
Chicago had 1 goal in the first 3 games.
Yeah, and
couldn't
I
score
just can't
1
picture
goal.
Philly losing 2 games in a row at home.
I can.
Well.
Bet you
Thinking you're a Philly fan, so
my god!
I bet you the
disagree with
bet
you.
you the Flyers win happens here.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see it.
We'll find out.
Tune in next week.
Thank you
At
for
that
tuning
point,
in.
we will have 3 games into the Stanley Cup playoffs, and we'll hopefully be leading the series 3-0, so we can just have a relaxing week next week.
Yep.
But we'll see. Game 1 is on Wednesday.
Anything can happen in the playoffs.
Tune in next week. Thank you again for the live studio audience that showed up.
And also go to NHL.com and join our NHL.com bracket challenge under 3PT. See you guys next week.
Thank you for being.